Okay. So, Assalamualaikum. Today is a good evening for us to get an opportunity to interview two senior engineers for our assessment of our subject ethics and OSHI to ask them about BEM, Board of Engineering Malaysia. So I would like to present to you all the two senior engineers. The one with the red shirt, Mr. Khairi, and the other one is Mr. Ali Asyraf. So before we proceed our interview about the Board of Engineering Malaysia
Ali Asyraf.
and
Ali Asyraf.
how
Ali
you want to
Asyraf.
ask about the general
Ali
question
ke Ali?
about the engineering. So let's introduce ourselves first to them. So my name is Aiman Syukri bin Sazali. I'm the 4th year student at UTM. And I would like to introduce my other team is next one is Ain.
My name is Nurul bin Sulaiman. I am a 4th year student.
Hi, my name is Abdul. I'm a final student.
Hi, my name is Hakimi and I'm also a 4th year student.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Abdul Hakim Aizam, and I am also in 4th year student.
Okay, that's all for my team. So before we start the question, may we know a little bit about both of yourself? Like what is your name, how long your service at the company, and what is your position at the company? So I would like to ask Mr. Khairi Saad for the first. May you introduce yourself?
Right, Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, good evening. So my name is Khairi bin Saad. I'm 37 years old. Has been working, I think around 15 years experience, all with oil and gas industry. So I started my career with Petronas as an inspection engineer. Then I jumped to Shell for senior inspection engineer. Right now I'm working with HES as an integrity and inspection coordinator. So I've been with HES for the past 3.5 years. So my main responsibility is to taking care of static equipment with regards to maintenance and also inspection. I think that's the brief of about myself. Sorry about this little kid here. Right, pass to you, Aiman.
Thank you, Mr. Khairi Saad. So can you introduce yourself, Mr. Ali Asyraf?
Assalamualaikum. Good evening. My name is Ali Asyraf bin Sazali. I'm working in aviation industry. Currently, I'm working under AirAsia Group. I've been working in the industry for the past close to 11 years now. My position as of now is a lead technical services engineer in avionics. Avionics means the electrical part of the aircraft and also the managing the computer boxes on the aircraft. Yes, I think that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Ali Asyraf and Mr. Khairi Saad. It's been an honor for us to introduce both of you. So let me ask you about the Board of Engineering Malaysia. So Ain, may you start?
Okay, so for the first question, I will ask the question for Mr. Khairi Saad. The engineer has a duty of care to the public under common law. Can you give the example about the obligation that your duty imposed on yourself as a professional engineer?
So I think in general, I think honestly right now I'm not the PE yet. So, but as a general law of duty to the public with regards to engineering, we need to have a high standard of ethic, whereby on all the decision that we made with regards to our asset, we will not compromise on the quality, as well as the integrity of all the assets that we taking care of. So I can give one example. Uh, the duty of engineer with regards to the public concern is we need to ensure that all the equipment that we maintain is on the highest possibility of integrity. Give me one moment. Sorry. Where's the engineer? You need to maintain your aircraft or your equipment
Sangkut. Sangkut mat.
to ensure that the asset that you maintain is being taken care with.
Sangkut. Sangkut.
But they could and standard whereby you can taking a shortcut. For example, you need a material that with a level of standard like in my industry for corrosion resistant, we need a stainless steel or
Sangkut.
dual stainless steel. So cheaper you can always substitute the material to carbon steel, but it will jeopardize on the long term with regards to the integrity of the equipment. So that's the example of the duty that you need to ensure that the standard or the quality of the project is being fulfilled without jeopardizing the safety, mostly of the safety of the equipment to the public. So I think I pass back to Nurul Ain. Sorry, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Khairi, for the explanation. So the next question, one of them is,
Sorry, you're asking me, Aiman?
in my next one of them is,
Hello. Okay. Line. Yeah.
Yes, dengar.
Okay.
Yes, we
For
can
the
hear you.
second question, I want to ask Mr. Ali Ashraf. There is one statement. Professional engineers should be allowed to practice as consultant and as contractor at the same time. Regarding to the statement, do you agree with this statement? If so, give your reason objectively for supporting. If not, also give a reason. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. But I think your question is quite general. Can you give an example on the question? Because you mentioned an engineer can be a consultant and also the contractor. So what's the situation that we are discussing about? Can you give an example?
Example is like tender project.
I see. Okay. Okay. So I presume in this case the engineer is providing consultation to a client, right? For some whatever needs of the clients, and then at the same time the client said, look, I can give the solution to you, right? Because I have a company, I can give solution to you. Well, my view on that is there's a conflict of interest, right? But at the same time, the client should do selection on the contractors or the providers. Their procurement should take several proposals and do their selections. So it is not just on the engineer as a consultant and contractor at the same time. The client also need to do their due diligence when selecting the providers. So I know that there could be some cases where the engineer is the consultant and the contractor as well. Yes, there is a conflict of interest. But also I believe the client needs to do their due diligence as well. That's my opinion.
So basically, do you agree with that statement or agree and disagree?
Well, if it's just on that statement, I disagree because of the conflict of interest, but it is not that simple, like in reality. But yeah, I disagree with that statement.
Thank you, Mr. Asyraf, for the answer. So for the next question, Fizwan, I would like to ask.
Hi, I would like to ask Mr. Khairi Saad. So, if you were a consulting engineer and were submitting turnkey tender on behalf of a turnkey contractor, would you consider a conflict of interest between the role of a consulting engineer and contractor? So, can you enlarge on the ethics of this subject?
Can you rephrase your question, please?
Would you consider a conflict interest between the role of consulting engineer and contractor? So, by meaning that, can you enlarge on the ethics of this subject?
So we're talking about the same consulting engineer and also the contractor is the same body that is taking care of any tender? Or we're talking about different entity?
We are
Conflict
talking
interest.
about if you were a consulting engineer and were submitting turnkey tender on behalf and on a turnkey contractor.
Right. If I presume the question correctly, I think just echo what Encik Ali Ashraf mentioned just now. As a consultant and also the residence engineer with regards to taking care of any tender. Yes, I would say that there will be a conflict of interest because as a consultant, normally you are the one who provide the technical basis of any project or any tender. So the technicality of the tender is provided by the consultant, and the engineer is the one who to execute the project and also to make the paper of the bidder. So if I presume the questions correctly, if the body is the same entity, so of course you wouldn't get the best quality of the project, whereby you are the one who set the standard. But on the other hand, you are the one who can manipulate the strategy of the tender itself by appointing anyone that you think, let's say, Aiman have a company, so Aiman have this limit of capability. So I put the project tender that match Aiman's capability. Instead, you can get a higher quality of project of vendor, but yeah, as I mentioned just now, as a conflict of interest, you want to give to someone else. But rather than that, rather than you put a higher quality of the project tender, you just match whatever friends or neighbors or your relative regards to the tender technicality of the project. So That's my answer. I will say that conflict of interest is there, and by all means, I guess we need to avoid that kind of situation. Right.
So basically, you want to make sure that there is fair, in between of the tender, in between, to make sure that the works is smooth lah.
Yes. Sorry,
Okay.
there's a storm over there. So yes, Aiman, we need to have a fair and equal opportunity to all. But I think the most important thing is we need to have a very stringent requirement on certain aspect of the project. So with regards to safety, technical, that's why we need a third party. Yeah, you need to have a different eye to monitor on the level of confidence with regards to certain projects. So that's my view on that.
Main dulu bro.
Okay, so for the last question for the BM, Hakim Aizam, what is your last question?
So
So I want to ask Mr. Sazali Ali Ashraf.
Ali Ashraf. Mr. Ali.
So my question is, it is clear to you that an engineer engaged in a particular project, like not maintaining professional standards, professional competence, and integrity are lacking. What will be your reaction? Will you report the above incident to the Board of Engineers Malaysia, or bring this to the attention of the client, or will you maintain silence and watch substandard work being complete? Thank you. That's my question.
Sorry, I was on mute. It's classic. Thank you for the question. Yes, so in this scenario, I am the consultant or I am the staff of the client, or where am I in this situation? Am I the public? In your question, you asked me if I see any unethical scenario. So where am I in this situation?
An engineer for the particular project.
I'm the
Soalan kau tu,
engineer or the
soalan
staff
kau tu,
of the contractor.
anda
Is it?
basically
Yes.
Right.
letters
Right. Okay. Well, I know the what is the correct answer is. Of course, we report, but in reality, it's more complex, if you will. So you have to navigate this carefully. If I am the staff of the contractor or the company that providing service, and I see that the service that we provide is not as per the standard or unsafe. Usually, any company have a procedure to report this unsafe condition. So I would have to follow the procedure as per the company SOP or manual. So that would be my first action, first step. You can't just simply go and report to a board of Engineers Malaysia. So that there is a process stipulated in each companies. So I will go through that process first. That would be my answer. Thank you. I hope that clarifies.
So from that, what I want to say, if that something happen in that project, we cannot fully follow the ethics step of there's the ethics and the moral, which is you have to see on how the things goes, or can I speak to Malay? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Which mean dalam satu projek tu kita nak buat satu tindakan apa yang berlaku, kita kena pandang dulu sudut semua benda dari segi company and keadaan situ dan orang yang kena berlaku tu lah. So kalau kita terus melakukan dengan etik, which mean kita terus report dekat bawah ini, dia akan kemungkinan akan merosakkan nama
Yes.
company or apa. So macam yang Mr. Khairi terangkan tadi, so we have to be fair on everything that we do lah.
Yes. Yes.
Proses.
Memang ada proses and procedure untuk each engineering company, right? Untuk melaporkan lah whatever incident or accident, ataupun you want to report something even within the company itself. If you want to what we call whistleblow, right, there is a process. So it is best to report it internally first before you go and direct to Board of Engineer Malaysia, because otherwise probably your management could sort it out, the company's management could sort it out. If you report directly, and your management have no idea what's going on, that's just doesn't reflect doesn't paint a good picture on the company. So as a good engineer, you need to follow the process and procedure.
Thank you, Mr. Ashraf. So it's done for the question of DM. So for the last 3 question is a free general question. So who want to start the question of general question? What would you want to know about the engineers out there? So who's gonna start first?
I would like to start first. Can we speak in bahasa Malay since it's general?
Boleh, bahasa negeri boleh, Nagori boleh.
Right. So saya nak tanya Encik Ali Asyraf. Jadi bagaimanakah anda memisahkan diri anda dengan teknologi? Jadi macam sekarang sekarang kan banyak teknologi baru kan, so macam tak kisahlah teknologi apa, tapi kalau macam teknologi baru tu macam mana sebagai engineer nak membiasakan diri dengan handle teknologi yang baru ada ni?
Sorry, contoh teknologi tadi apa?
Apa-apa saja yang means that sekarang pun teknologi yang baru dekat saya pun pasti lah. Sekarang kalau iPhone 0 pun macam ada IT, macam AI kan, so macam ada je teknologi.
Ada apa, IoT?
IoT.
Oh, Internet of Things.
Yes.
Okay. Untuk introduce new process to a company, it can be challenging lah. Boleh jadi sesuatu yang sukar, sebab usually orang tak nak tukar. Usually culture is the most difficult part to change in a company. Later when you've worked for some years, you will understand what I'm talking about. Culture paling susah nak tukar, and for let's say digital initiative, the management can drive the project. Management can do all out to drive the projects, but orang sukar untuk tukar to the new process. But yes, digital technology sekarang memang canggih, and company should go for the new technology, but it will be challenging, especially if you have staff yang dah berumur lah. Contoh macam saya lah. Tapi yes, susah lah nak tukar, and the management kena motivate, kena encourage their staff to adopt this new technology. Kena make it easy, make it interesting, help to equip your staff as best as possible, give them training, give them the best equipment untuk ni lah. And for personally, engineers should be aware of the new technology, as an engineer you should be looking at new technology, right? It's your nature. But it's difficult to drive a new initiative. That's what I see lah in the workplace. I hope that clarifies.
Thank you, Mr. Asyraf. So for the next question, one of them is
Okay, I want to ask Mr. Khairi. The question is, what value does a fresh graduate must have to make a good engineer?
Value.
Something like soft skill or skill.
Okay. Wait ah. Sorry.
is it okay for you, Mr. Asyraf, for answer for the Mr. Khairi?
Sorry guys. I think odd hours make this kids cranky. Alright, okay. The value, I think for fresh graduate, whenever you come to, started to work dekat mana-mana pun lah So I guess two things for me. Two things yang most important is you must have attitude to learn. I always say that I don't have any issue with people don't know anything, but is willing to learn something. Don't stop learning. And second is a can-do attitude. I would say can-do attitude is macam bos bagi kerja, and then even though you don't know how to do it, but you always say, okay, I will find a way to do it. Either you ask a senior, you do research, but don't give up. So most of the time when a new engineer come into my company, to our company, so I would suggest that kind of value that the boss normally want to see from the fresh engineer. So that's it. Thank you.
To learn lah. Okay, for the last, that's my question. I would like to ask, what process for us as in fresh graduate engineer to follow? Proses yang kita orang kena follow to tidak untuk buat silly mistake dekat tempat baru kerja kat dalam company tu. Ataupun susah untuk orang macam mana? Proses apa yang patut kita orang buat untuk tidak buat salah?
Aiman, can I answer that question, Man?
What process do you follow to catch any mistake in your work?
Okay. Tadi soalan dia macam mana nak ngelakkan buat salah dekat tempat kerja for the fresh graduate. I'm willing to see fresh graduate buat salah. Sebab from buat salah lah you learn your mistake and then you have the experience.
So it is okay to do the mistake but willing to learn.
Yeah. I mean, okay lah. If you try too much on avoiding any mistake, then you will make mistake. Trust me. Kalau kita nak buat A kan, and then suddenly I think you will not get an A pun. You will go to B, C. So don't put too much pressure on yourself as a young engineer for not making mistake. I think it's good to make mistake, but by all means try to understand and then learn from the mistake. I mean, the first mistake normally orang akan forgive. The second one, okay. The third one is no go lah. So I don't have any answer on how to avoid by doing mistake, but my view on mistake is it's okay to make mistake. Kan? Manusia ni nama insan ni alpa kan. Alpa ni selalu lupa. So yeah. I don't know about Encik Ali Asyraf, but that's my view lah man.
Thank you, Mr. Khairi. So for the last one, Hakim Aizam, what would you like to ask?
Okay, I want to ask Mr. Ali Asyraf. In your opinion, as we know, there are mostly company in Malaysia do not reach 4.0 in industry yet. Okay, that's my question. What your opinion?
Sorry, 4.0 tu apa
Industry.
Huh?
Macam kan company yang tak sampai apa industri 4.0 lagi, mungkin tak ada IoT.
Yes, tapi 4.0 tu apa? 4G saya tahu lah. 4.0 sorry. Sorry, I heard of 4.0 tapi macam tak ingat dah lupa dah. Apa ya?
Macam IT, AI.
4.0 macam AI, IoT.
Macam mesin kan.
Mesin macam robot.
Oh, okay.
Like Tesla.
Okay. Advancement in technology lah. Memang yes. Dekat Malaysia at least for my industry, aviation is very regulated industry, if you will. Memang sangat ketat, sangat banyak sangat rules and regulation, banyak sangat paperwork, difficult untuk automate, difficult to make advancement in technology. So in aviation industry dia ambil masa yang lama lah kalau nak advance pun. Yes, it will take time. It's going to take time. Untuk industri lain tak tahulah, kena tanya kena tanya Khairi lah. I think best tanya Bos Khairi lah.
Oi.
Ni.
Oil and gas with regards to 4.0 industrial punya ni So honestly, oil and gas is the last industry yang nak pergi ke new technology ni. Because we tend to go macam Encik Adi cakap, conventional way, because we have been doing that for 100 years. But I think right now, the industry is starting to enhance and macam try to absorb the new technology. So I mean, for example, in my company, kita dah start untuk buat remote punya monitoring. Rather than sending people to do the monitoring, we put a sensor. I think industri lain dah buat lama dah macam touch and go apa semua tu. And then kita ada baru-baru ni kita try, not baru lah, I think past 10 years, tapi benda tu dah lama ada, cuma dekat oil and gas for the past 2-3 years dah jadi macam famous using drone for our inspection. Instead of sending people, kita pakai drone. So in a sense, for oil and gas, yes, I can see we are moving there. In fact, Petronas, I mean in Malaysia, our main body that looking for oil and gas is Petronas. Petronas is memang a good support to all our oil and gas punya company in Malaysia. Dia ada dia punya personal research punya company that helping us in terms of encouraging all the PACs is like us to have a new technology, regular engagement, regular conference, and then support in terms of giving us the macam meeting in between, because whenever we're talking about the technology, we're talking about cost. New technology is about cost. So you must have a ROI, return of investment, right? So you need to have a balance between cost and also the profit to the company. So we can have all the new technology in the world, tapi kalau tak bring profit to the company macam is a no-go lah. So benda tu yang kita kena look into. And then at the end of the day, your punya board director cakap, okay, you pasang 1 million punya barang, so how much return you can get from 1 million? Kalau cakap 200,000 macam tak make sense. So it's a case to case basis lah. Right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Khairi and Mr. Asyraf. So this is really the last question. I'm really sorry that I'm so curious. Like we as a student, we are pushed to know and to research about the Industrial 4.0. So like when we ask you both about the Industrial 4.0 in Malaysia, as the Mr. Asyraf said, yang benda tu memang nak buat tapi dia mengambil masa yang lama dan menggunakan kos lah, macam Encik Muhammad Khairi bercakap kan tadi. So adakah kalau as a new engineer, fresh grad engineer yang nak masuk, dia nak bagi suggestion tu, dia perlukan like 3 benda dalam diri dia yang kita orang, yang kami belajar untuk SEM ni, which mean the sustainable development, financial, and this one lah, ethics and OSHI. Ethics, which mean the etika about the engineering, and then the sustainable development on how we want to produce something, but we have to think about other thing, which mean the side or the cost apa semua kan. Yang financial yang kita orang belajar ni memang kira everything lah, untuk macam Encik Muhammad Khairi cakap tadi, untuk kalau kita buat ni bagi untung ke tak untuk company. So if like I told you yang we are student right now yang kena push to study the Industrial 4.0, if we want to pursue that things in the company when we work, these are the 3 things that we need to very major kalau nak present that Industrial 4.0 dekat company tu. Benda tu yang penting. Tapi even kalau kita present pun, adakah company tu akan setuju dengan apa yang kita nak buat? Maksudnya kita ada 3 ni, kita ada ethics, kita ada sustainable development, and kita dah ada dia financial cost tu semua. Adakah itu yang akan buat Industry 4.0 tu berlaku dekat satu company kalau kita orang ada 3 benda tu?
Ali or Khairi?
Both of you, I'm sorry.
Okay lah Man, talking about Industry 4.0, I guess right now memang benda tu in future you cannot avoid from having that benda tu lah in future kan. So you are the guys, the young engineers yang will lead the company later on in 10 years time. So when talking about sustainability, talking about the financial and also the ethics, it comes together lah semua tu. I guess if you have the passion and you have the knowledge, right now you're taking all the knowledge. So when you enter kerja nanti dalam bidang pekerjaan, later on with the knowledge that you have right now, try to gain the experience first before you want to macam present something. If you're working in a company, because you need to look at the culture of the company, what is the strength, what is the weakness, where the company will direction, whether they want to maintain static or they want to expand the output the business. Tapi kalau you guys own your own company, you start up your own company, then just boost, just bulldoze lah. Buat je apa yang you think that you can change the world. But bear in mind, I'm still young, tapi dulu lagi young. So when I was younger than now, I think it's a normal for all the people like young engineers. We tend to think that, okay, we want to change the world. We want to have a better world to everybody. Tapi in real life, in reality, there's a lot of complexity dalam hidup ni. Kalau even cerita pasal kerja lah kan. So again, check where are you, and then weigh whether apa yang you nak buat tu is a good to the company sahaja atau good to yourself. So kalau good to yourself, not to the company, then try to expand the idea lagi. Yang idea tu bagus untuk company, rather than good for your own department macam tu je kan. So I think that's my view lah man. But yes, for sure, that three things, the knowledge that you have right now is very beneficial in future.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Asyraf.
Sorry, the question is, as a fresh grad, you've identified the three traits, three points to drive the Malaysian industry towards 4.0. That's the question.
Yes.
But the industry, you mean the big industry ke macam mana?
I'm sorry.
The industry, by industry you mean the big industry ke, or in general ke?
In general, which means
In general. Apa? I think I will echo what Khairi said. If you work for a company, it is highly unlikely for a fresh grad to propose a new technology. It's highly unlikely, unless you're very brilliant. Tapi macam Khairi cakap juga, teknologi tu akan datang dekat kita, whether we like it or not. And when there is such project for the company, you could volunteer to participate. And as a fresh grad, you couldn't possibly know everything. It's not possible, because there's so much industry. So when you work for a company, you have to study about that industry, about that company. And when there is such project for 4.0, I don't know, IoT ke whatever, robotic, automation, volunteer yourself and to get part of the project and learn as much. As a fresh grad, yes, you just need to equip yourself with knowledge, general knowledge of the current technology, the advancement in technology, but usually the management would decide. But technology is very very advanced nowadays. It will come to any company. Sekarang ni kedai mamak pun dah ada robot yang bawa air tu kan. Sekarang ni semua jual goreng pisang pun pakai QR code. So macam nak kata, if you work for a big company, it's highly unlikely that you will be proposing. When there is such project, volunteer yourself. And macam Khairi kata, kalau you set up your own company, which is even better, then by all means just do whatever you want. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Asyraf and Khairi. That's a very wonderful interview. In this night session, we are very sorry for the night time, and thank you very much, untuk luangkan masa yang kita orang and share both the knowledge to us. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Aiman. Thank you, Hakim, Muiz, Fizwan, and Nurul for having us, both of us. Right. See you in industry later on, 2-3 years time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Salam.